Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Um, where are you guys listening from? Welcome. Thank you for clicking this episode. Those who have been with me for a while, here's another apology. Here's another apology. I am sorry for my lack of consistency. Child, I've been trying. I am trying. Um, Life has been lifing. Life continues to be lifing, if that's even a word. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. My episodes on YouTube are doing better. I love, like, I don't really check things. So when I do and I see that, oh, this one hit 50 likes or 50 listeners and all of that, is like, it makes me very happy because, as you guys know, I don't really like to speak. I don't really like to have my voice out there like that. I'm more of a writer. I'm more of a somebody who likes to work in the background. So me doing this is a big challenge. Even just it's just voice, right? And I'm also thinking of getting out of my comfort zone and starting to do more videos. But let's take it one step at a time, y'all. Let's take it one step at a time. So this is gonna be a introduction to some, or a revisit to others, and some kind of new information to kind of explain myself, and kind of like the theme of this episode will talk about homemaking, looking for a home, searching for a home. Yesterday marked 1 year since I moved to DC, and and it was a roller coaster of a day because I have to move again. I ended my lease at one apartment, and now I'm searching for a different apartment and everything. And the constant moving, although I used to enjoy it, now I don't. Now I don't. And I don't mean it, but I don't because I don't, like, it's annoying. But if you've listened to this podcast from the beginning, you know that I created this space to explain myself because I always felt misunderstood, right? And the reason why I always felt misunderstood, because I've always been a nomad. I've always been outside of comfort, right? Whether it is a country, a city, whether it is for school, right? So I've always had my experience, my entire childhood experience, my entire being has always been outside of where I was supposed to be. So both of my parents are from the Congo. We left the Congo when I was a baby, so I have no recollection of the Congo. I grew up in the Central African Republic, then Benin, West Africa. Then we moved to Rhode Island. In college, I studied abroad in China, France, and Belgium. I moved around a lot. So this idea of homemaking is very, like, annoying, because when I used to move, like, for example, when I was a child, I'm sure, and I had this discussion with my mother, when we were in Central African Republic, when I was a baby, there was always plan for us to move. My mother was what are they called? And y'all, if you're new here, let me just give you a disclaimer. Sometimes if I forget my words in English, I will say it in French, and you're gonna have to use the dictionary, Lord. So my mother was a commerçante, right? She used to sell stuff. She used to buy from one place and then sell it and everything. So she raised me, in between a lot of countries, even when I was a baby. So there was never a time of, like, stability. So in the Central African Republic, I'm sure, we're foreigners. Then we moved to Benin, and that I remember very much being a foreigner, because we were Congolese, but I'm being raised in this culture from Benin, and I'm being raised around Nigerians, Togolese, Chadians. So you're just, your homemaking is very different, right? So when I say I'm African, I mean that literally. I'm just African, right? Because I have a hard time picking one country to be a part of, because my life has always been I'm a part of everything and nothing at the same time. So then we moved to the United States, and then you have to deal with those identity constructions of like, oh, you're an African immigrant. Oh, okay, you're black. Okay, why don't you sound black? Are you sure you're from Africa? You sound too good to be from Africa. So those discussions were always sort of a part of my life. And then the first time I felt American was when I went to China, and then that was the first time I saw my American passports. And then so they call me Meguo Ren, which in Chinese mean American, right? Meguo means America, Ren means person. So Meguo Ren means a person from America. So that was the first time I was able to feel American. I was able to call America my home, because now here I am in a foreign country with an American passport, and these foreigners are not seeing me as an American. So that was the first time I started exploring deeply my American identity and finding a home within the American space, because I have an accent, Lord. I have an accent. I don't sound from Rhode Island. I just, and people will point that out all the time. So they'll be like, are you sure you're from Rhode Island? I met some girl from Arkansas. She was like, you don't sound like from Rhode Island. And I was like, have you ever visited Rhode Island? She's like, no. And I'm like, so how would you know I don't sound like from Rhode Island? So all of these ideas of like settling, right? Settling down, like, where can I go? Where can I call home? So that actually have influenced my entire life, even my relationships, my friendship, because I always felt like I never had strong, solid friendship, because I always moved, right? So, for example, even within a city, when I went to elementary school, the friends that I had in elementary school were not the friends that I had in middle school. I was always separated from my friend group, right? So some of my friends went to the same middle school, then they went to the same high school. So their bond got stronger, whereas my bond with them got, weaker, because we're not spending time together again, right? My middle school friends, we did not go to the same high school, right? And then some of them went to the same high school. So their bond got stronger, whereas mine with them, our relationship got weaker. Then we go to college, and then we meet each other at college. Some of us will meet each other at college, and then you just feel like we're two different people. We have two different goals. And then so you make new friends in college, but my friends are all international students, so they're going to go back to their countries. And then what will happen after college? So when then I went to China, and then I went to France. When I came back, my friend group did not feel like my friend group anymore, because, traveling, seeing different things, you grow up, you feel different. So you come back and you're a new person, and the people that you left are also new people, because they had to navigate the world without you. So now you're just looking at them like, oh, am I am I always going to be a foreigner, right? So you feel like that's what I always felt. I always felt like I was a foreigner. I'm a foreigner in my own home. I'm a foreigner in my own family, because on my Congolese side, they see me as an American, and then some Americans see me as an African. And then, so even in my house, my mother would view us as American, right? And we will have really bad Congolese accents when we speak our native languages. So you're always constantly wondering, right? When am I going to settle down? When is a place going to be home? And for me, I've always equated home to people, right? I've always equated my home to people, because I don't belong to a certain place. The people around me were the one that created that. They were the one that made that space home. So what happens when you don't have the people? What happens when you don't have the people, and it's hard to make a new set of people? Because sometimes it gets so draining for me to build a community, and then 2 seconds later, that community dissolving, and then I have to go look for it. And then I remember when I came to DC, I wasn't interested in making friends. I was not really interested in making friends. And DC is such a competitive city, and especially with people who are in politics and international relations, you can see that people don't view each other as friends. They view each other as like competition. So you can meet people at a conference, you exchange numbers, but then you just be like, yeah, we ain't friends, right? So there's that spirit of competition. So it makes it so hard to even trust to even trust the idea that you can make friendship or genuine friendship that can last, right? So I find myself honestly not having a lot of friends, and not just that, not having best friends, and not because because sometimes people are like, if you don't have a childhood friend, then you're awful. It's like, no, sometimes you move around a lot, that it's hard for you to make friends, it's hard for you to have a stable communication. It's hard for you to meet people who will last with you for a long time. Now, I do have good friends, when I went to Belgium, I met my couple, two great friends and everything, and we still have a great communication. But then it's like life also happens, right? You get married, you have other occupations, so now you're scheduling yourself in. So most of my friendship have always been international, right? So it's rare for me to have a friend where I can be like, oh yeah, this Friday we're going out. This Friday we're going to get our nails done. It's like, no, those are things that I've learned to do by myself. And sometimes it makes me feel like I'm walking around this world by myself. It does make me feel very alone. There are moments of loneliness, because you're just like, am I meant to be alone? Sometimes I feel like I'm so great at being alone that I don't even know how to be with people, because I always feel like, okay, in 2 seconds, I'm going to move anyways, in 2 seconds, okay, I'm not going to put too much effort, or even when I put the effort and it's not, and then when I move, the relationship dissolve, it feels like, why did I even put my energy into that? Was it worth it? And sometimes I'm also seeing how it's affecting my relationship romantically, because I'm always wary of something. What's the word? I'm about to speak French again, y'all. I'm always worried of the longevity of something, right? It's like, oh, if I put all this effort and everything, is it gonna work? And then you can't tell time, you cannot tell the future. So now you're wondering, it's like, and every day I'm constantly wondering, is like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it even worth putting the effort? Is it not? And sometimes I'll be like, okay, Cynthia, allow yourself to breathe and see how it plays out. And then you let it breathe a little bit, and then the anxiety comes back again. It's like, am I sure? Like, this is like, maybe I need to put my time and effort somewhere else, and not worry about this boy and everything. So because you're so used to like the unstableness of life, the unstableness of always being a foreigner, the unstableness of something changing in the next week or year, that when a romantic relationship comes, you're just like, okay, this is going to dissolve in a year or so. Like, I have never been in a year-long relationship. Like, I've never been with somebody for more than a year. And that worries me, because I'm just like, what does settling down feels like to me, right? What does settling down feels like to me? Because I'm always wondering, I don't even know what settling down feels like, because I feel like I am constantly chasing something. I've constantly had to move, that I don't know when the chase is going to be over. And I do want the chase to be over. I do want the chase to be over. I want to be in a place where I am stable. I don't want to renew my lease after a year. I don't want to make new friends. I want to cultivate friendship, but then it's just hard. It's just hard. And it's because life is so unpredictable. And the unpredictableness of life is starting to piss me off. It's starting to piss me off. It's starting to mess up with my brain. It's starting to mess up with even my desire of just being stable. Because then I feel like I want this thing. I want it so bad, but it's not happening. So I might as well just let life do me, I guess. But then you're just like, but I want some control of life, I want some control of things. So then I'm lost. I love traveling. I remember one time when I lived in Europe, I I was in 3 different countries, 6 different cities in one day. And I remember when I came back tired. Like I opened my door and it was midnight, and I literally looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I need to pick one country. I need to pick a home. I need to be very stable, because again, as a young person, when you're hustling, trying to find yourself, mixed with being of different identities and different homes and different practices, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's so much. Yesterday I cried for the whole day. As soon as I got off work, I came home and I was just like, the French word is épuisé. I was so tired, but I wasn't tired at a particular thing. I just felt tired because when I come home, I have to think about, you need to find another place to live. You need to find another place to call home. And now it's like, can I even call it home? Because I've always been in desperate search of home, but all I keep finding are houses. Whether it is a country, whether it's a city, or now even with people, I just keep finding houses. And it has messed up my mental health. And I feel like there's something wrong with me. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed. There are some advantages of being a global citizen. There's a lot of advantages of being a global citizen. It's great. But for kids like me who grew up without a place to call home, who always had to be on the move, and you can think of like militaries to children of military who got to move around and create, they will tell you this is hard. It's so hard. And people don't understand that. And people kind of think you're being aloof. They think that you don't want to. But it's like, I've been preconditioned to not have my hopes up. And that's what has been happening for me for the last year, where I moved to this place and I had to practice homemaking. And it's like, you pack your suitcase to a country or a city that you don't know, trying to make something out of yourself. And you had hopes that, things are going to go smoothly, but when they don't, it's tremendously hard because you feel like a failure. You feel undeserving, right? I remember when I was doing my thesis on identity construction post-migration, there was this theme of nationhood versus statelessness, right? Stateless people are the antithesis of nationhood, because nation means stability. Statelessness means you're unruly. You are a vagabond. You are not part of society. It's like if there was everyone in the Times Square and they tell people to go home, everyone will know where to go. They will go in their houses and they will feel, But then stateless people will look at them and like, we're stuck here, outside, not knowing where to go. And that's why, you have not heard from me as religiously. I want y'all to hear from me, because I've just been going through this journey of homemaking, not just in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense, in the mental sense, in the emotional sense of it all. If you are a third generation kid, or a third cultural kid, a multicultural kid, you are a military kid, or anyone who's have lived outside of their home, quote unquote home, Let me know how y'all deal with this. Because at 27, I felt like I should have known the answers. I should have had the answers already, but I don't. And that's why I'm a Congolese wanderer. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me explain myself. And I am going to make sure to start uploading more. Bye. Have a good weekend.